at you with another episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers. This, of course, is Don Hill, and today we get to hang out with one of the real producers here in the Tampa Bay market. This, of course, is the podcast for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than real producers like Maria Azuaje. How are you, Maria?
Thank you so much for having me today on your podcast.
It's really our pleasure. I'm excited to have you on the episode and on the show here. We're going to dive into your story in just a second. We've known Maria for... I know we featured you in an episode, in an issue of Tampa Bay Real Producers, probably like over a year ago now.
I think it was like 2020. Probably.
Yeah, was it during the COVID season, during all that fun stuff?
Yeah.
I know that you've come to a couple of our events over the years now, and have gotten yourself a little framed gift, like one over there in the corner that you see with J Mac. So it's good to have you though in the studio and dive into your story a little bit. I think you have a great one that people will learn a lot from.
Thank you.
Maria's with Berkshire Hathaway. We'll talk about some of your numbers and all that fun stuff. But last year, Maria was a top 500 producer. Did over over $17 million in volume, over 20-something transactions. So she's receiving the magazine and being celebrated as a top 500 producer. So Maria, why don't we just start with your background? And I know you grew up in Venezuela.
Yes, I'm from Venezuela, and I moved to United States in 2001.
Okay.
We moved.
How old? So you grew up. You lived all through those years growing up in Venezuela.
Yes.
Right. What was that like, living in a country that now has really had some challenges over the last decade or so? I guess.
Yes. Well, when I was living there, it was an amazing, wonderful, rich country.
Yeah.
I never thought the idea of even moving to another place.
Right.
But when we decided to move to United States was just because I had an opportunity in my previous job.
Okay.
And we thought to move for 4 or 5 years and then come back with more experience, working in United States. And in those 5 years, all the political situation happened, and I got pregnant, and then as a family, we decided that the best for us was to stay in this wonderful country. So we did. And
did you come right to Tampa when you came here?
No, in 2001 I moved to Miami. We lived there for around 5 years.
Okay.
Then we moved to Indianapolis, and we lived there 6-7 years. And in 2010 we moved to Tampa Bay.
Now, was this work related? All these different relocations?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the occupation you were doing then?
I am a computer engineer.
Oh wow.
And I did a lot of business development, software development.
Yeah.
And I work for a consultant company, and we did a lot of software development consultant in telecommunication companies all around South America and United States.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's like a perfect training ground for real estate, huh?
Yeah. If you can sell software, you can sell a house.
That's true. I guess that's very, very true. So was it you and your husband, when you said we, that came here initially?
Yes.
You were already married in Venezuela?
We married in December. We moved in January. So we started our marriage.
So that was the honeymoon trip, huh?
Yeah,
that was the big step.
Yeah.
And then you had your children in Miami is when you started?
We have my first kid, Sophia, in Miami. And
Who
then,
just graduated high school, I think you said?
she's in FSU.
Oh, she is. Okay.
Yeah, she's
so
in
that's
FSU
your oldest.
doing biochemistry. And Sarah, who is graduating this year, high school, she was born in Indiana.
So you have 2 daughters?
Yeah, 2 girls.
Very cool. So you came to Tampa, and how did you get started in real estate?
So when I moved in Tampa, I decided to not work again. I was very tired, traveling all over. So I decided to be a stay mom. My kids were very little. So I said, you know what? I'm done with work. And 2 years later, I was very bored.
That didn't last, huh?
Didn't last. And I wanted to go back to work, but I didn't want to, do the 7 to 6 p.m. type of job and traveling again.
Yep.
So in a conversation with my husband, he said, why don't you do real estate? It's flexible. So I thought that, maybe I can, be a mom and a realtor. And I decided to start my real estate business thinking that it would be a part-time job.
Right.
How far of reality I was. So,
what year was that? When did you get licensed?
I got licensed in 2014.
Okay. So it's been about 8 years now, huh?
Yes, 8-9 years.
9 years now, yeah.
So I started as a like a half fun career
Yep.
and become, a full-time job. And I love it. I love it. I really do.
Do you remember what you were able to do in your first full year in real estate? Was it part-time for you that whole first year?
I think I don't remember. You mean volume wise?
Yeah, just in terms of what do you remember from that first year? Was it a
maybe I
full-time
did-
commitment yet, or was it really part-time?
It was a part-time because my kids were very little.
Yeah.
But I didn't have any other job,
Right.
So I don't remember. Maybe I did like 5, 6 transactions.
Okay.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Is
that family, friends, people you knew?
Family, friends. I did start by buying a lot of leads
Okay.
in Zillow and Trulia
Okay.
that time. And I think my first transaction actually came from a lead
Oh, wow.
generation from online.
Got it.
And then, family, friends.
Yeah.
I have a good sphere of influence that they have been very supportive my entire life. So most of my succeed at the beginning was through my sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your experience now, 9 years, has it just kind of gradually grown for you over these 9 years? Or was there like a peak year where things really blew up and spiked for some reason? And what's the story been like for you?
It's been growing every year.
Mm-hmm.
The first 5 years, I think, I pay for leads and I spend a lot of money in getting leads. But after 5 years, you start getting referrals from past clients, friends, and my networking has been growing.
Yep.
And now I don't, the only thing I do a lot of social media, and that has been helping me.
Yep.
But 80% of my business come from referrals or past clients.
Very cool. So you've
Yeah.
definitely done a great job of building that referral base up. And do you work a lot with Spanish-speaking individuals, people from South America, or like how's that network been for you?
It is kind of half and half. I maybe 50% is Spanish speakers.
Yep.
And the other half Americans.
And I think you mentioned that you also work with some investors. Is that true?
I do. My program or my system, I have like 6, 7 investors who have been a long time investors.
Yeah.
That they have built in wealth with me, and I found them. They don't live here.
Yep.
Some of them are international. Some of them are living in another state.
Yep.
So they really trust me, and then I find them the properties. I show them online.
Yep.
I do them numbers, and they buy them. They rent it out, and they start creating a passive income.
Yep.
So
Everyone
I have a
loves
group.
that. We're big fans of passive income
Yeah.
here. Yes.
Yeah. It's been great for
Are these
them.
typically single-family homes that they're just turning into rentals?
Single families, townhomes, condos. It depends
Yeah.
on the whatever the numbers.
Gotcha.
If the numbers make sense, they'll go buy them.
That's how an investor thinks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I have a group of first-time buyers that I love to help.
Yep.
Because it's personal to me, and
Totally.
I love to help them find them their home. And I do a lot of luxury properties as well.
I was going to ask you if there is a particular niche that you love the most, whether that's first-time home buyers or luxury or investors. Is there something you found that really is a good niche for you?
Luxury home is always nice because it's luxury homes.
Sure.
And
Higher commissions.
higher commission. But I mean, the last 2 years I have worked with a lot of first-time buyers.
Really?
And the fact of helping them go through the entire process that they have no clue
Yeah.
is a lot of rewarding.
Yeah. No, I can
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
That first home, there's always something special about that, you know?
Yeah. So I've been touching my heart. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I've been, and a little bit of everything. And investment properties are also great.
Yeah.
Because there's no feeling.
Yep.
It's just numbers.
Yep.
So it just makes sense. It's an easy transaction. You just do it,
Yep.
So I like it a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a little diversity there among your business offerings. So it makes sense. Do you also invest personally? Do you hold any rentals?
I do.
Yeah.
I do have a couple of investment properties that I manage, and
Rental properties?
rental properties.
Very cool. Awesome.
I do not do flippings.
Yeah.
I think it have to be a special realtor to do all that.
Yeah.
I just can. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a different game.
It's a different game.
It really is. Yeah,
It's,
I mean, it is still numbers based, but there's a little bit more speculation too.
I
involved.
try and
And you got to find distressed properties and all that stuff.
I try it for like a year and it's not for me.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. That's
Yeah.
for sure. What do you think you love the most about being an agent, about being a realtor?
It's the people you meet, different backgrounds, different personalities, and you become their best friend for 6-7 weeks,
Yeah.
And it is amazing, the amount of relationships you can make in this business.
Yeah.
And you either love it or hate it because it's very stressful.
Yep.
But I think what I like the most is all the people I meet and all the background that I don't think in another business or in another career I will meet them.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And again, for most people, the home is their biggest investment they'll ever make in their life, right? So whoever that person is who's helping them make that happen, that's an important relationship.
It is,
and you can see why if you do it correctly, the referrals that can be generated from that, as you said earlier, can fuel your entire organization and just continue to scale from there. So
Correct.
It makes a lot of sense. Do you remember what your best year has been in real estate?
I think 2009 was my best year.
Okay.
I think I did almost 20 millions.
Yeah.
And
it's always just been by yourself, right? You've never
Yes.
built a team or anything.
I do have a team now.
Okay. Team of agents?
Two more agents, Paul and Carlos.
Okay.
Paul, he's now more getting into sales, but he has been focused on leasings because when I work with my investors, I provide the full service experience.
Yep.
So I find them the property, but then somebody has to go.
You manage it too.
I don't manage them.
Oh.
But I find them their tenant.
Gotcha.
So at the beginning, I used to do it myself, but you cannot do all of it.
Right.
So Paul has been a great partner, and he has been taking all these sales that I do for investors, and he finds us the perfect tenant, and we put them in. If they want to do property management, we refer them to a property management company. If not, they manage them themselves.
That's cool.
And Carlos started with us last year, and he is kind of a buyer's agent, but he's in training, and he just did his first transaction that he just signed a week ago. So
Nice.
So,
So
but
he's
yeah,
trying to build his business.
yeah, the last 7 years has been a solo myself.
Yeah. Thinking back on your real estate experience, what do you think has been your biggest challenge during this time that you had to overcome, or something maybe you had to learn? What do you think for you personally, was the biggest challenge for you?
My biggest challenge, I think, it is trying to separate business and my business and my personal life.
Yeah.
It is very hard for me to separate that. I am 24/7 real estate thinking.
Right. The switch
And-
is always on, huh?
And yeah, it's always on. And sometimes for me, it's hard to, turn off my phone and have a nice dinner with my family. And
Yes.
it's been a challenge for me.
Yeah, that
It's
balance is
and
not
I try
easy.
to work out it because, you need to separate that sometimes.
Yeah.
And I haven't been able to do it very effective.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is my biggest issue.
What does your husband do for work?
He's a physician. He's a doctor.
Oh, he is. Okay. So that's, again, very different space than the real estate world, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. And
But he also must work pretty hard.
And he works a lot. So,
Yeah.
when we are together, we need to be quality time. And sometimes if you're in the middle of transaction and you're having dinner and you see the phone,
I know
call,
it.
and you need to take that call because that is important and you need to take it. And sometimes it's hard.
Yes,
But,
we're all guilty of that.
yeah.
I mean, I told you earlier, I have 5 kids myself, so just that conscious effort at dinner time to really just focus on the family and not allow, because our phones could always be a distracting tool, right?
Exactly.
That's a normal experience I think many of us go through, and I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
So have you found anything that's really helped you in having that balance? Do you feel like it's improved at all over the years?
It's been improved a little bit. I think having a team help you.
Yeah.
I don't need to go and do all the open houses, for example. Or if I'm in showing a house and my listing needs some care, I can count on Paul or Carlos. And that been helping me a little bit of managing my time.
Gotcha. Makes sense. You mentioned earlier that about 80% of your business now is through referrals, I think you said. And, I guess referrals and kind of like organic creation.
And some of them have been coming for social media. You
mentioned that, yep.
Yeah, I've been...
You have a favorite platform or what?
Instagram.
You like Instagram?
Instagram is my favorite platform. And, I'm always there or doing reels. And I've been getting a lot of contacts from that platform.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, Reels is big nowadays. Reels and stories, man. That's how you got to get it out there. And do you generally, when you're like just doing a home walkthrough, is that what you typically would do on a reel? Or is it more just about your own personal life? Like what do you focus on?
Some of them are like funny reels, like, stuff that happened to you in a day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Other are educational reels. I do some in English, some other in Spanish because my sphere is mixed.
You speak Spanish at home?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All of us, four of us speak Spanish at home. And so it's a little bit of educational, funny, or, showcasing a property. It's a little bit of
everything.
Everything.
Which I think is great. I mean, that's what social media is really for, is not to be the same thing all the time, but to have it be more genuine, more authentic, have a little bit of your personal style and personality come through, which for you probably is comedy, right? And having that. And I think that's where people start to trust you, that much more. So it makes a lot of sense. Let's talk a little bit more personally, just to let people get to know you a little bit. So what do you guys love to do for fun? What keeps you busy when you're not working so hard?
When I'm not working, we love to adventure and we love to go to restaurants and eat. I think that's my passion.
You have a favorite food?
Yeah, my favorite food is meat.
Oh, yes. Well,
meat,
you are South American.
Meat and wine.
Spoken like a true Venezuelan, I take it, right?
Yeah. So I like to go to restaurant and have a good dinner, have a good glass of wine. I like to travel a lot. We travel a lot. We try to travel as much as we can with the kids.
Yep.
And 2 weeks ago, I'm not a very sport person that I should do more exercise. 2 weeks ago, I bought a bicycle.
Nice.
So now I'm going to the trails and
there you go.
In the city for a little bit.
Great for the health, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Got to get out, and about.
It is an electronic bicycle, I have to say. But at least I'm doing something.
That's right. At least you're riding.
Yeah,
you might not be pedaling, but you are riding.
I'm pedaling. Yeah. But I get help with my.
Does your husband go with you?
Yeah, we both do.
There you go. That's good stuff. And your daughters, do you think they're going to want to follow your footsteps in the real estate world, or not really?
The oldest one, I don't think so. She's more like her dad. She wants to pursue medicine. Sarah, my little one, she might. I think she have the what it takes to become a realtor. I just want her to finish college first.
Sure. And she's the one that just graduated.
Yeah, she just wanted to graduate from high school.
She said she's going to be going to UT soon, right?
She's going to UT to do international business.
Nice.
So I think it's going to be, maybe she will join me in real estate, but I want her to finish college before she start making money.
Will she live at the dorms or will she live at home?
She's thinking about it. I think I told her she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I loved it there. Like I said, I went there the last 2 years, so she's in for a good experience, I'm sure. I'm sure she has some friends too, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
A couple quick things that I usually go through just in terms of letting people the audience get to know you a little bit more. So do you have a favorite like movie or book or even like a seminar maybe that you've ever attended that you feel like has made a big impact on you?
With Berkshire Hathaway, I did the ninja selling.
Okay.
And I think it's amazing for
I've heard
new
of it.
Agents or experienced agent. They tell you a process how to keep clients for life. Mm-hmm. And it is a very simple step, but it's very difficult to keep.
Yep.
So it really changed my.
Is that an event, Ninja Selling, or is it a book?
I know it's a book.
Yeah.
It's called Ninja Selling.
Yeah.
But it's also, you can go and take the class and become a ninja certified.
Oh, nice.
If you will. And I think it's a week. And they tell you all the 7 steps or the 9 steps.
You've done this?
I did it like 3 years ago. And at the beginning, you get out of that and you're very excited and you do it all. And then, you forget it. But then, it is very, very good.
Yes.
Very good. I think it helped me a lot. And I don't do it all, but I do a little bit of.
Now, is that something affiliated with Berkshire Hathaway at all or no?
No.
They just promote it.
They promote it.
Yeah.
They promote it, and I did it only with Berkshire Hathaway agents. But I know a lot of brokers does it too, and you can do it not being affiliated to,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of it before. We've had a couple of other agents, I think, that have mentioned it as well.
It's great.
It seems like they have a pretty good training program.
It's a good training program. And nowadays, because I'm driving a lot, I'm doing audiobooks that I
the
listen.
audiobooks. Yeah.
And I try to do, motivationals or business related.
Yep.
So when I'm in the car, I'm keep listening to stuff.
Do you have a favorite podcast other than this one, obviously, or a favorite?
This one is my favorite one. You are my favorite one.
You know the routine. That's right. Have a favorite author or anybody that you listen to when you're on the audio side?
You know what? I don't listen. I don't know the author. I just look by titles
Topics.
and then I start listening to it.
Yeah.
I haven't paid a lot of attention to the author.
Well, there's a lot of inspirational stuff out there, so I can understand it. But I think it's key, especially as you said. I think it was Zig Ziglar that used to talk about turn your car into a university.
Yeah.
And we spend so much time in our car, right? Being able, especially as an agent, driving around, showing people homes and meeting up with clients. And so that extra time, what you choose to do, whether you just listen to music, which most people probably do, but if you can take those extra couple of minutes and self-educate yourself and manage your mental state through some power of, just positive feedback. And I think that really can make the difference sometimes with someone's success, because it's a compounding effect.
Yeah.
That stuff adds up and it just starts, landing somewhere, and then you can put it to work.
I am listening now one that is called Exactly What to Say. I don't know the author.
Cool.
And it's great because it gives you tips of, when you face rejection, or you want to talk to somebody.
Which I'm sure never happens in real estate, right?
There are words that you can change and it will help you continue the conversation and not just stop the conversation right there.
Yeah.
So it is very good,
Yeah.
I don't know who's the author. I think it's something Smith.
Say the name of it again.
Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
Exactly What to Say. So there's a little nugget for everybody to pick up.
Yeah.
I think our audience loves podcasts and likes to try to find things to help them get that edge, right?
I know.
So that's good stuff. Do you have a favorite movie?
My favorite movie? I don't.
No, okay.
Let me think. You get me off guard.
You can come back to it if you want to.
Let me think
No
about
big deal. Yeah, no doubt. And you mentioned you love to travel. Do you have a favorite spot to go visit? Anything that's been a real story for you?
We love go to Italy.
Italy's awesome.
And Spain. We love the food in Spain
Very
and
cool.
Italy. Last year we had we went to Italy and we did a cruise through Greece.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I hear
and
it's
Italy.
gorgeous.
So I think
I've been
that's
to Italy
one of
for
our,
a week. I've never been to Greece though.
Greece is. We went to Santorini and Santorini and
Cyprus or Athens.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
we had a lot of fun. As
You
a
only
family.
live once,
Yeah.
so you got to see those spots. There's just that's part of life. It's having the ability to plan in when you're going to be able to take those trips, and then all of us are wired in a way where you can't just always be working, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be something that we're working for, which is to enjoy elements of life, and those trips can really make it happen.
And if you have a listing that is not moving, go take a trip. It will sell when
It's
you
amazing
are
how that happens,
when you
huh?
are on a plane or just getting into vacation. So that's another way to travel.
That's
Every time,
amazing.
Every time, not once. Every time.
Every time you go away, it starts selling, huh?
Something happened in a listing or a buyer.
I don't even know what you're here for. You should be traveling all the time then.
I know.
Yeah, your houses would be selling left and right.
Exactly.
As far as like the future, I always like to ask a question about what are you excited about moving forward for the rest of this year, 2023, or even going forward in 2024 and beyond. What do you think excites you the most? What are some of your goals for what you're trying to do, whether it be real estate or not? Anything that you think gets you fired up?
So I would like to keep, the same or better numbers this year.
Okay.
I want to grow my team. Not more people, just the three of us.
Just help them grow their business.
Help them grow their business. And I one of my goals personally is get another investment property this year.
That makes sense.
And my plan is to buy at least one per year.
Yeah.
And
that's also my plan.
So when I retire, I can live out of that passive income.
How many do you have now?
I have 3.
Okay.
So
that's
my
been the
goal
plan for
is
the last
like
3?
to have 15.
Very cool.
Let's see if I can make that.
Is there a certain type of investment property that you like to look for? Whether it's single family, condo, townhome, does it matter?
It depends on the numbers,
Just
but
the numbers work?
I like townhomes and condos just because with the HOA and the price range, I don't go too high.
Yep.
If that is the price range is in the 200 frame, the property is well maintained because there is a HOA involved.
Yep.
I know that there are investors who doesn't like to invest with HOA. Me personally, I like it because you can, your house will increase in value over the time.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I think most investors that I'm aware of anyway invest for cash flow first, right? But then the appreciation is like an added benefit.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
And one of the mistakes I think some investors make is that they invest into a property just for appreciation at first. And that can work in the right markets, but it also is riskier, right? Because you never truly control what's going to happen on the appreciation side. But as long as, at least my mentality is, as long as you're investing for positive cash flow on day one, then it's a smart move, right?
Correct.
Like that's an investment, as you said, that can build passive income and hopefully allow you to make enough money off of passive income that you don't even need to work in order to pay the bills and that kind of a thing. So
my plan for this year is, grow as a team, the 3 of us, and, keep helping people and getting more listings. We need listings. We don't have houses out there for sale.
Yeah. Are you doing any form of marketing outside of the personal referrals and network now? Is there any, I know you said social media.
Social media is a big one. And I do farm. I have a company who send market analysis on my behalf for I think it's like 500 residents in Pinellas County.
You do? Okay. All right. So is that an area that you like to niche into, Pinellas?
Well, that was where I used to live. I now moved to the Hillsborough County area. So a little bit
up in Lutz up there?
I now live in Odessa, but on the Hillsborough part area.
Yep.
Yeah. I moved 2 years ago during pandemic.
Yeah, which is a beautiful area. I love that. Trinity, Odessa, Keystone.
I live very near to Keystone.
Yeah.
And
have you ever sold a home in that Keystone Estates?
No.
I like that little niche,
That's
though.
beautiful.
It's a beautiful neighborhood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting a spot in there one day.
It's beautiful. I live very close by.
Do you?
Actually.
Yeah, I love that area. I live up in Ballantrae now, up in Land O'Lakes. But every now and again, when I'm taking the family, our church is down off of Ehrlich Road. So we'll go down Gun Highway sometimes, and that Keystone Estates is always right there. So I always just want to kind of take a little shot in there and drive around, but it's always gated, so it's hard to just get in there and check it out. But I have been in there before.
It's nice.
It's a beautiful neighborhood. So one of my favorite questions to ask Maria is, one day, we all come to an end, right, in this world. So we're not getting morbid here, but I think about legacy a lot, right? Like what you want your legacy to be. And I think it's important when we're working to have some perspective and idea of what we're working for, right? Like what's the real purpose other than just money, which I think money is important, of course, to all of us. But if you had to think about what you'd want to be known for when your real estate career is over, whenever that may or may not be. Maybe it'll be never. You'll work until the end comes,
I hope not.
or maybe not. But what do you think is important to you as far as the legacy that you would want to leave, what you'd want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered as a kind and honest and friendly person. I think not about if I sold many houses or if I would. I want to be remembered as that friend who, went with you and have a big laugh and have a good glass of wine. And,
There you go. I was about to
and it
say
was
over a nice
kind
meal and a glass of wine,
yeah,
right?
I think that's what I want to be remembered for.
So the relationships.
Relationship, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's funny. We interview a lot of top producers, obviously, for this show. And I think sometimes agents who are not yet top producers will look at people like yourself and say, maybe they're just driven by money. They're driven by success, achievement, recognition, all of those things that from an outside perspective can look a little, attractive, but also somewhat hollow, right?
Correct.
But when you really dive into the stories, and that's one of the things I really love about this show, is that we get to really just hear what people really care about and their background and how it's played a role in their life. And it's always about things that you just said, right? It's about the relationships that they get to develop along the way. It's about treating people right. And of course, everybody has different personalities and it is what it is. But there's always more that drives those top producers. It's not I don't really ever hear it's about I want to make X amount of dollars, right? Or this many
money
of those
is
things.
important. That's that's why you work. But I think it's the relationship and the people It's amazing how many different backgrounds you meet. Otherwise, in another business, there's no way you can meet.
Totally. It's a people business.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
I know.
If you had to give some advice to an agent who was wanting to be a top producer who's not quite there yet, what comes to mind? What would you want to leave them with?
Start your database from day one.
Okay.
I didn't do that. And even if you don't have a system, even in a piece of paper, an Excel spreadsheet, start your database. Name, address, telephone number, what they like, what they dislike, birthdays, everything. Because if you keep them, I hope I think I don't remember, and I don't have the names or addresses of my first 15 clients.
Gotcha.
That were not friends,
Right.
So if you start your database from day one, that's your business. If you want to sell your business, let's say that you are tired and you don't want to do real estate again, what do you sell?
Right.
Your database.
Your database. Yeah, that's your real value.
That's your value right there. And not just only name and address and phone number. Write down in a description, what do you remember for them? What do they like? And maybe one day you're bored and you look at your database and you see something, you call them and say, hey, I know you like a boat and there is a event coming up next month. And they know, oh my gosh, Maria remember me from 7 years ago that I like boats, or, just to give you an example. But I think the database is the most important.
That's a great tip. And I think that lack of organization is something that holds a lot of agents back. They don't have any CRM in place or something that can help them store that information so that it's easily accessible and they can go to it and pull from it anytime they want. And then once you have something like that, it makes it easier to create an automated marketing program, right? So that you can consistently it almost feels like there's some really good marketers out there that it almost feels like they're always there, right? They're always present. You always see them everywhere. And it's simply because they use automation and there's so many great tools out there to help you with that. But it starts with having that intention of wanting to be organized with every contact that you meet. And
each broker provide every agent to a lot of wonderful tools that nobody uses.
Right.
And the brokers spend a lot of money getting that platform to help the agents. And nobody uses it. And they're incredible. They're incredible automatically. You can do a lot of things, and you just need to go there, check what is available with your broker. That I'm sure all of them has it, and they're excellent.
Yep.
But 90% of the agents, they don't use it.
They don't tap
They don't
into
even
it.
know that they exist. So for
Utilize your resources.
utilize
people.
your research. Sometimes you don't need to even pay it. Your broker is already investing in that.
Yeah.
And use it.
How long have you been with Berkshire now?
7 years.
Okay, so a good while.
I mean, yeah. I work my first year. I worked with Sam Peak Realty
okay.
for 1 year, and then I moved to Berkshire Hathaway since then. So I think I've been with Berkshire since 2015.
What do you appreciate most about working with them?
The management people are excellent. They are always available for you. The platform, for me, it's and maybe because I come from a technical background. For me, it's very important what platform the brokerage provide to you.
Yeah.
And Berkshire Hathaway, they have been investing a lot in that platform. So I really like what they offer. And also, they're always available for any problem you have. It's like a big family. I really enjoy working
That's
over
cool.
there.
Yeah, I've had a lot of conversations. As you know, we do these monthly panels at Whiskey Cake, and those events are open to any agent to come to, right? And we have people like yourself that are on those panels. I know you've been there before, and it's sad. I think I don't know if that's the right word, but I get feedback from agents sometimes that they don't have the support, or they might have the resources, like you said, but they are not using them, right? They
Yeah.
don't know how to tap into it, and they feel a little lost. And so we actually are launching a consulting program within Tampa Bay Real Producers to
nice.
try to help agents become top producers. That's going to be the mission of
That
that
is
program, is to try to, it's going to be a 12-month coaching program and really a consulting program with CRM support. We have a white labeled CRM to help them, what you said, organize their flow and have some automation take place and have that provided. Plus many other things that'll be built into it, as well as some individual assignments with top agents like yourself to just have a mentor and have someone to ask some questions to and go from there. But there's a huge niche there. I mean, there was 15,000 real estate agents last year who did at least one deal, according to the MLS, but there was over 20,000 agents who were licensed who didn't even, so that means over 5,000 agents didn't even do a deal, right,
Yeah.
last year. And of the 15,000 that did at least one deal, most of them did less than 5, right, for the entire year. So it's a massive group there of
Yeah.
agents that some of them don't want to be real producers, and that's fine. They just want a license to help their family and friends. But others, are in it because they really think that there's a future in building a business. But as you know, you can't be wildly successful as an agent if you're doing less than 5 transactions a year.
Yeah,
So-
but if you do good 5, then you keep talking to those 5.
Yep.
Maybe you do 7.
their volumes,
next-
yeah, I
it's
mean,
a
if-
volume number.
If they're over $1 million listings, I guess you're in a good spot.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, I know. Yeah,
We're
it-
gonna
it
put
is
a bow
hard.
on this episode. Sorry, you want to say something?
It is hard to start in real estate if you don't have the support.
No doubt.
And it is not an easy start. Then after a year, it's paid off. But at the beginning, it's not easy for new agents.
It isn't. And I think finding that help, that support, that mentor, and a lot of times that's your brokerage, or at least it should be,
Sometimes they don't. it's not.
that has some systems in place to support you. And then, as you said, make sure you're actually utilizing those systems that they provide and learn how to use them if you don't know. Find somebody who can help you. That's the beauty of the internet nowadays. You can pretty much learn anything by doing some YouTube searches, right? But if somebody wanted to reach out to you, Maria, and just pick your brain a little, ask you some questions, hear more about your story, grab lunch with you,
Sure.
What's the best way to do that?
You can call me at my phone.
Okay.
317 Indiana phone. Indiana.
Still got the Indiana
I
number,
still
huh?
have the Indiana. 317-371-0935. Find me on my social media, Team Azuaje Realtor.
Perfect.
Instagram.
You want to spell your last name for people if they don't know?
Azuaje.
Azuaje.
Team Azuaje Realtor.
Azuaje.
You can DM me. You can text me. Call me. I'll be happy to have lunch
Awesome.
or answer any question.
We'll put the number up here on the screen as well for our YouTube channel, but for anyone watching on YouTube. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, no, it was cool diving into your story a little bit more. There were some things there that I didn't even know, even though we've known each other now for a little while, to kind of hear more. And so it was great to have you here today. One of the things I always say to the audience when you hear these episodes is, what's one action step? This is how we always end our episodes. What's one action step that somebody could take from our conversation today that is going to help you take a step in the direction that you want to go? If you're an agent and you want to be a top producer like Maria, maybe it's starting your database, just like she talked about, and just cleaning that up and being organized with it and making sure that every single contact that you have is actually going into an organized system so that there can be an element of automation that kicks it off. Or maybe it's you want to be better on Instagram like Maria is and use your reels a little bit more effectively, or build a referral base as Maria talked about, or whatever it might be. But what's one action step that you can take from our conversation today that'll help you and make this time that you invested in this episode worth it for you personally to make an impact in your business? So we'll check you on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers. Stay classy, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thank you.